Thank you, Mr. Mahajan, for this interview. Can you tell us what is IT Serve and why you are at the US Congress today?
Yes, thank you, Lalit, for taking this interview, and thank you, PTI, for conducting it. IT Service is an association of 2,100 US IT companies, which are spread over 20 chapters all over USA. We are in 23 states, and we create more than 175,000 high-skilled employment in US, and we also contribute $12 billion to the GDP of US. IT Serve also takes a lot of interest in focusing on a lot of corporate social responsibility work, and one of our major work is STEM education, where we focus, which is also related to the topic which I'm going to talk about, why we are here actually, right?
So, why you are here?
So one
Before
of
that, these
yeah,
2,100 companies are basically owned by Indian origin people.
most of the owners are Indian origin, and yes, you're right.
And you create 175,000 high skilled jobs in the US, and
Yes,
the contribution towards the US GDP is more than $12 billion per annum.
yes,
Okay.
yeah, and
So,
as I
what
said,
brings you here?
so today we are here because see, US is a leader in technology, and they need to maintain that leadership, and also our ecosystem of startup is one of the best in the world, right? But for both these things to lead in innovation and technology, and for a good startup ecosystem, what you need is a common component, and that is high skilled people, right? Or high skilled IT people, right? Now, there's a lot of skill gap right now in US, particularly the kind of availability of people with the kind of skills they need versus what they have locally over here. So what we have to do is we have to do a lot of high skill immigration from various countries all over the world. So our focus today is to highlight to the lawmakers that there is still a big skill gap in US on in the high skilled area, and it is very important for us to basically do focus on two areas. One area is in high skill immigration, where we need to get the brightest mind from all over the world to US and retain them in US. And second thing is we also focus on the local development of STEM education, because if we develop the STEM education, we start working on that right now, maybe in few years back, or maybe in not few years, maybe in few decades, we should be able to kind of match up the skill gap. So our ask from the lawmakers is to increase the quota for high skilled immigration, which we'll be presenting to them through our bill called Hire Act, and also basically give us more funding for the STEM education, for the local development of the STEM education. It needs a lot of funding. Though IT Service itself is providing, a lot of funding, close to $1 million in a year to promote the STEM education through STEM scholarship, STEM training, STEM internship. But still, it is small, a drop in the ocean, right? What you need is much more. So that's why we are here. We want to make sure till the time skill gap is taken care of, we are able to do high skilled immigration, and for that we need a increase in quota.
What quota means? Can you?
See, there is a quota of 65,000,
Right,
H1B in US right
right,
now,
right.
and which has been there for last 15 years,
Mhm.
15 or 20 years, the same quota. While you can see the IT is flourishing, right? The need of IT people is very, very high, right? And that quota remains, at the same level, and that is why there's so much of skill gap.
How
So
big?
that's why we want it to go up to 130,000.
130,000 per annum.
Yeah, and we also want to say that you should retain the people who come to US for the master's degree, right? The advanced degrees, the PhD student, the master's student, so that when they come, they stay here, right? It's not that they go back to their country. Right now, you would see Canada has just introduced that they are going to ready to take H1B people. They are ready to give them work permit so that they can come and work in Canada, right? So you can see there's a competition for the bright minds and for high skill immigration. And I think we need to definitely focus on what I said was that keeping all the masters students and all the PhD students, don't put any quota for them, right? Let them stay here once they complete their degree and work over here. Why
So
they
you
should
are
go
so
back to their countries.
to summarize it, you're asking two things. One, increase in the quota from 65 to 130, almost or about double. And those who are doing higher education here, they should not be included in the quota.
They should be not be even coming under quota. They should just get be the green card or maybe an H1B without going through the quota.